Now who gotta move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em.
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I am Del Altman, joined by the Mayor of Port Chopolis, Chris Mertens, Port Chop.
That's me.
Big Savage, Greg Luther,
Oh,
Mullet
you gotta
Man.
turn around a little bit so we can see that party in the back. There you go.
He's going to have
There
no
you
hair
go.
on top soon and a party in the back.
Should I? But like I'm going to get Bengals Twitter. Should I dye it orange and black when the season starts?
Yeah,
my
with
barber
your
said he'd
beard.
do it for free.
Along with your big beard
Oh God!
that you're growing. So we
How about this? We'll come to a compromise. I'll grow a little Billy Goat beard right here.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it depends how the season starts. If the Billy Goat beard is working, but it might be like, hey, we need the big beard, Greg. We're struggling.
All right. Hey, you know what? I'm game. So how we doing on this fine day?
Well, we're a little over 24 hours till round one. The NFL
Yes.
draft kicks off.
And we don't,
Yes.
because I'm tired of all the rumors. I'm just tired of all the rumors.
Yeah, and the rumors are crazy. 6 quarterbacks to go in the top 15. Daniel Jeremiah said, got off the phone with 5 people, and everyone's trading up for an offensive tackle. Okay.
Okay.
Give us
Okay.
Johnny Newton. Give us Johnny
Fucking-
Newton.
Hey, Johnny.
Let's have 6 quarterbacks and 6 offensive tackles go before us. That's fucking 12 picks. So now we only need another 6 picks. Jared Verse can go. Dallas can go. Arnold can go. Mitchell can go. And then boom. What's sitting right there for us, man?
Yeah.
The boys, Murphy or Newton. I'll take either one. Newton over Murphy.
Yeah. And
What-
Darth said Brock Bowers kicks puppies.
Damn.
Not
Fuck
trading
that
up for
guy.
Brock Bowers,
That
but
is
if he's kicking puppies and falls to 18,
I
They
got to
take
tell
him
you,
on
man,
that
if we selected Brock Bowers on our first round pick, I'm not going to be mad.
no. He's
No,
a good
you
player.
cannot be mad. You can't be mad. It's not the pick I want, right? But you can't be mad with that pick. Jesus Christ. I mean, the fan base has been yelling about the goddamn tight end position forever. And then you go out and you draft an incredible tight end. You can't be mad
Right.
about it.
Well, no, and Lapham made a good point. You know, he can give you a slot and he can play tight end. That's 2 things you can take care of that one player. I'm not on the Bowers train either, but that's a good point he made, you know? So I wouldn't be
Mexican
mad.
Joe. This guy's been in Cancun. Now he just
Oh, now he
What
doesn't
up,
even
Joe?
speak English anymore.
Yeah, and what happened to Marv? I mean, yeah, just let Marv or Malik Neighbors go ahead and slide into a range.
Yeah.
Now, there's 2 players that I would trade up for if I was the Bengals. Speaking of wide receivers, we thought maybe Brian Thomas would be in that range. I see the report. I guess Dane Brugler said that he's off some teams' boards. He's been dinged for medicals. I don't know what medicals. He had a great season for LSU, but
Yeah, he did.
interesting.
And he ran at his pro day or something. He ran like a 4.3 or
wasn't
4.2
it? Yeah.
something. But hey, fall to us at 49. What do you think about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and who knows? You know, the medicals, we don't have access to that, so we'll still operate under the assumption that he's not off the Bengals board or anything like that. As we try to put together a board, probably give more my board and our board or whatever later. But first, I say we try to build a Bengals board. What we think
Okay.
the Bengals board might look like.
Yep.
So starting off, no quarterbacks. I mean, we just signed the man
No.
Jake Browning back. Logan
Yeah.
Woodside to be the 3rd guy.
Yeah.
Obviously Burrow long-term extension. He's our QB1, no doubts about it. So I didn't put quarterbacks even on their board. If they're up there, not up there, who gives a shit? They're not taking one in the first
No.
round. It doesn't matter.
I don't care if fucking Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are both there at 18. We're not taking a quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
We kind of
So,
fucked up, man. Joe Burrow with your backup, Caleb Williams.
What's up, Chandler? But you know what's at the top of my board? I'll tell you what's top of my board. Midwest Best Barbecue and 50 West Beer. Proud sponsors of the show. Either one of these can be your first-round pick, and you'll be satisfied forever.
You can get them both for your first round pick. You can get 2 and 1.
Absolutely. 2 and 1.
Yeah, you can even there's a new thing called the 50 Midwest Best, and you just take a shot glass and you pour a little barbecue sauce in it, a little 50 West beer, and you do shots of it.
Or you could go my way. Just get a pulled pork sandwich and pour some fries, 50 West fry sauce, and you're good to go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
So trying to put together the Bengals board would start off right at the top. I think number one on their list. It don't mean these guys will get there, especially at the top. But I'm just going to say 1 and 2. I'd say they have the top 2 receivers who are pretty close in my eyes, and I think a lot of other people's eyes. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, that was mentioned there. Esty in the chat. I'd say they're very high on the Bengals board. I mean, they're game-changing receivers. They're number ones. I know you already have Chase, but with Higgins, especially after Amon-Ra St. Brown extension, $30 million average annual value on the extension. I can't imagine – that T. Higgins is here next year unless it's another tag, and that could get messy. I would think tag him and trade him next year, worst case scenario, because you're already going to be dealing with him probably not coming to training camp on time and things like that this season, similar to Jesse Bates' path. But I do think the value of these receivers, and as much as they like him, they at least could tag him and try to make a trade or something. Unlike Jesse Bates, who's a safety, you don't see a lot of trades for safeties. Trying to predict. Yeah, you guys will be at wrestling.
That's right. You'll be at wrestling.
You took Jeff away from Corey Dillon. He'll probably never forgive you for that.
I know.
That
was Chandler testing his dad's love. Like,
really.
Is it
you
me or Corey Dillon, Dad?
Corey Dillon at Midwest Best Barbecue.
I got some SmackDown tickets, and
he chose you.
He did.
Very honored.
He did. I think he might like you, Chandler.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think
you're like a son to him.
Yeah, I think third on the Bengals board potentially, and this is just us trying to speculate what we think it is. We have no idea, but I think Joe Alt.
Yeah,
easily. I mean, he's up there. He could be number 1 on their board. I think he's got Hall of Fame potential. He's locked down, and I think he could slide over and play right. I could see the Chargers easily drafting him at pick 5. They have Rashawn Slater to play left. He's going to play right. Instead of extending Rashawn Slater, potentially when his contract comes up, Joe Alt will slide over and be the left tackle for Jim Harbaugh's Chargers once his contract's up in a couple seasons.
Man, doesn't Joe Alt look like 12 years old?
In the baby face, but
yeah, he's like.
I mean, but he's 6'9", like 325.
Right. Yeah. Right. But he just looks like some kid, man, like a 12-year-old.
A very large child.
Very large child. Yeah, from another planet.
Now, who I think is next on the Bengals board, and you guys can disagree with any of these. I think so far we'd agree that's probably the top 3. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Joe Alt in some order are probably the top 3 on their big board.
I think Odunze's got to come up soon though too, right? Oh, he's not real far behind. Oh, you're going to him, aren't you?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to see if you can guess who I think is maybe next highest on their board.
It's
Dallas Turner.
On their board would be.
This is my spepeculation. It could be completely wrong. But I think it could be J.C. Latham that high on their board.
Oh, yeah. You know
what? No, you're right, Dale. The way I've been seeing it, man, they would if they.
There's been a lot of talk and a lot of love, especially from Dave Lapham, about how much, he just gushes over Latham. He talks about Latham and never mentions Alt.
Never.
For me personally, I think Olu Fashanu is the number 2 tackle. I think he's probably better to stick on the left side long term. But Latham, pure right tackle, and the Bengals are probably looking for a pure right tackle, having Orlando under contract, for this season and 2 more beyond that. I could see Latham being very high on their board. Maybe it's not as high as I'm saying here, around 4th overall, but I bet he's up there at 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that range. It just seems like they're really high on him.
Dale, that sounds right. I mean, Latham, I tell you what, I could tell someone who would not be too happy, Parker Blake. I was watching him. He's like, just from here, he just looks very inconsistent on tape. One comparison, Alex Leatherwood, and that I'm like,
I know, and you know that I love Parker, and I think he is phenomenal at all this stuff. But part of me, and I love you, Parker. But
no, I'm not trying to.
That has to be a little of the helmet scouting getting in the way with that one. And sometimes that happens, man. It's just a guy reminds you of somebody. But it seemed like, Leatherwood weighed 312.
Right.
You're talking about Latham, who weighs like 346 or something like that.
Yeah, okay, big difference.
The hand size is like 1.5 inches bigger. Latham has 11-inch hands instead of 9.5 that Leatherwood had. 11-inch hands are monster, which is, and you can use that as a weapon for an offensive tackle. I just think the comparison of Leatherwood and Latham, beyond that they both went to Alabama, maybe there you have some concerns overall because Latham got a lot of penalties, stuff like that. There's definitely concerns. I see that. But just like the straight up, just the size of these guys, like, Latham's a half-inch taller, 30 pounds heavier with 1.5 inches. His wingspan's 1 inch longer. Chop's like 1.5 inches. What?
I was on the phone with Jeff. Called me.
Hands are longer.
I hear 1.5 inches.
I just think Latham
yeah, they were talking about me.
Prospect than Leatherwood. I do.
Okay.
That you only have 1.5 inches is what we were saying.
Right.
Exactly.
So to me, I think Latham is probably high on their board. So I don't know if he's fourth, like I kind of put him here on my predictive Bengals board. I'm not saying this is my board, by the way. This is how high I think the Bengals might have him is at least in their top 5 potentially.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
And then you guys mentioned Rome, so we already had the 2 other receivers. I think you can drop him in that category. I think he's going in a good chance to go in the top 10. He probably doesn't make it out of the top 10, but we'll put him that he's on their board. If somehow he falls and he's there at 18, I'm sure they would be like, yeah, we just got to pull the trigger on Rome. He's in our tier 1 of players, he's in our top 5 or so.
Right.
I can see that.
Yeah.
How far behind Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. do you think Rome is?
He's a little farther behind for me personally.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy, but I mean, I just, there's some people that's like, oh, Rome could be number 1 on some boards. And I just don't see it. I think those other 2 guys are just better prospects, but
yeah,
Rome seems like a kid that'll work his ass off and could end up, being great in his own right. So I'm not taking anything away from his talent. I just think those other 2 guys could end up being generational. We've said Larry Fitzgerald and Jamar Chase. That's what we think of Harrison Jr. and Neighbors. So,
yeah.
So that's kind of the top 5: Harrison Jr., Neighbors, Dunze, and Latham. This is trying to predict the Bengals board once again.
right.
So don't yell at us. This isn't our.
Yeah.
This is just trying to predict. And then I think Fashanu's probably up there from Penn State.
Yeah.
Now we talked about Latham having the 11-inch hands. He has 8.5-inch hands. It's kind of comical for the size he has, his hand size.
8.5-inch hands.
Yeah, it's like, how? Like,
I think my hands, I got tiny ass hands, and I think they're bigger than 8.5 inches.
Hey, you know who has small hands?
That's because you're looking at it with your cock in it, so your hand looks fucking giant.
You know who does have small
No,
hands?
definitely.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow does have small hands. He contemplated quitting football after he got drafted when he found out. Twitter told him he had small hands.
I don't even know how he holds the ball.
I don't know how he does, man. He must use some of that stickum shit from the 80s.
Yeah, no doubt. So I think Fashanu's up there at 6. And at 7, I think, and this is trying to predict their board, but I think Brock Bowers could be up that high.
I don't disagree about Brock Bowers being up on their board.
Somewhere
but I
in
also
their top 10, right?
I kind of feel like Murphy's above Bowers, don't you?
He could be, and that's what I mean. Like, if you made that argument, it wouldn't shock me. But there's just something that tells me they have some of these other guys higher on the
Right.
Now,
But if you guys disagree, go ahead. Like, who do you think? I think the top 6 is solid. Harrison Jr., Neighbors, all Adunze, Fashanu, and Latham on their board. Theirs.
No, that's fine.
Top 6.
Dallas Turner's probably somewhere after that between 7
I
and
don't know, man. I'm not sure if they got edge rushers up on their board very much because
I still think they'll have them. I think
No,
they'll
they'll have
have
them.
them.
No,
On my
Chop,
board,
if he's-
I didn't put edge rushers. But
No, I'm just saying, but Chop, though, man, if he's too good to pass up, you got to consider.
well, there's a difference between too good to pass up and on their board. Like maybe they just didn't expect. Maybe they didn't put like someone like Turner on their. Dallas on their board, right? Because they're like, we don't know an edge rusher, and here they are sitting at pick 18 or let's just say 49 to make it even better. And they're like, well, fuck, he's not on our board, but what the fuck, man? He's 49. We got to grab him.
But that's why they would put these guys on the board. They're going to put these guys on their board.
Yeah.
They're going to at least place them. They could take someone lower and have a conversation, but Dallas Turner will still be on their board.
Yeah,
I mean, they have
like
their
in
due
my
diligence.
in my opinion, like if they're looking at a guy like do we think Dallas Turner or Johnny Newton or Murphy? If we're grading all three of those the same, they're probably going to place the interior higher on their board because just based solely off need.
No, yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just saying Dallas Turner on a lot of other boards, he's way higher than Murphy and Newton.
But to me, I don't think teams necessarily place players on their board, on their actual board. I don't think they place them by needs at all.
No,
they just. I'm just saying if they were graded equally for that team, which I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying they would ultimately place need above if it's the final straw.
Oh yeah.
Right. And 6-7, they might go 7-6. If it's
right.
But those are all conversations they would have. I think their grades on players will stand as their grades on players, and that's how they put them up on the board. And that's why I think they have Latham high because it just seems like they really like him. Frank lit up about him. Frank's, if Frank likes him, he's going to give his input on him. He's going to be high on their board.
I won't be mad at it.
Which did you guys speak on the? And if you did, we'll move on. But on Newton having a top 30 with the Bengals.
Yeah. I mean, not today. We didn't talk about it, but we did talk about it.
Yeah.
I had just heard about it today when I was listening to Locked On, and Joe said something about it.
Well, that and then Newton's on Twitter fucking with everybody with that. That meme where he that GIF where he's drinking that stuff when somebody said something about come here at 18. He's like, hey, all right, yeah,
buddy.
Hey, Darce says
how do we want this next tier, guys?
The top 6 that we've named, though.
Darce
says how many of them or who in that group would you trade up for if you're the Bengals? Do you think that the Bengals would possibly trade up for?
Yeah,
I'm only trading up for Joe Alt.
I would, but I just don't.
But you'd have to give up a lot. He'd have to fall some. Wide receivers, maybe, like the top 2, Harrison and Neighbors, but they'd have to fall some.
I think they don't trade. I think the Bengals.
The Bengals, yes. The Bengals
won't trade up. They
Me,
stick at 18. They stick and pick.
Yeah, the Bengals are not trading up.
No.
If they trade up, I think it's for an offensive tackle if there's a big run on them and they really like this group.
If they did, yes, I would do it for Joe Alt, but definitely not for Latham. But I could see them doing it.
Yes, I could see them trading up 3 spots to guarantee they land Latham or even Mims, who we'll get to in a minute on this board. I know. It wouldn't make people happy. But so if I have Bowers at 7, my next kind of group of players I wrote down, and you can tell me what order you think you'd put them. Liam, shut the hell up!
I didn't even hear if there's who's Liam. What position does he play?
Liam's the little dog who barks at the big dog when he comes outside to use the potty.
No,
because he wants to be the alpha.
Right,
but he's
exactly.
Not very big. So Brock Bowers, Quinyon Mitchell, Dallas Turner, Amarius Mims, Terrion Arnold, Jared Verse, Byron Murphy. Like that tier of players, I think will be high on their board.
Yeah.
Liam. Now it's is that Carter barking now? Because you came in here. You got both of them barking. Liam, you've been out there being mouthy.
Oh, now Carter's in too.
No, now Carter came in here.
Oh, Carter.
Yes, I'm live.
Oh, Carter.
Carter
and Liam and Miley.
So
Miley's not a dog. Miley's a human.
Right, yeah.
I could see the corners potentially getting moved up after, and I know I'm just listening to because I really haven't had a chance to dive into the corners much. But if they think any of those guys is and I don't think any of them are a Sauce Gardner level, but if they think any of these guys are a true shutdown corner, I could see one of them getting moved up on their board.
Liam, what do you think?
Yeah, what's Liam's opinion?
Which player do you want for the Bengals? Can't hear you.
Rook?
Yeah.
He wants Rook.
Hamburgers. Hamburgers.
He's so professional. Look how professional
he is.
Yeah.
He looks like a wise person. He's like,
yeah, it's a very wise draft studier.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Name the 6 players again.
Yeah, name them again, man.
I forgot, man. The dog cute.
Quinyon Mitchell, Arnold, Murphy.
It's set. There's 7 players here, so it's after the top 6 we named: Bowers, Quinyon Mitchell, Dallas Turner. I think Amarius Mims is going to be high because Frank likes him. I said Terrion Arnold, right? Jared Verse and Byron Murphy.
I think the next one on the list, honestly, I think it could be Mims. It might be Mims.
You think they have Mims higher than Bowers?
No, Murphy will be next. I might go Murphy.
What do you guys
on the
think?
Bengals thing?
Yeah. Or they could be Turner. I don't know. And Mitchell, I wouldn't turn my back on. They value corner a lot. We've seen them take corner a lot over the years.
Malik Wright said it's Murphy, and the only pick they would take over Murphy is Latham, right?
All right, but there you go then.
So maybe it is Murphy, but I kind of feel like it's Mims.
A
lot of people have Murphy as a top 10, so I'm not going to be mad. But I think Powers is high on their list. I'm sorry, he's just
he could be
talented.
Yeah,
but I will put Murphy at 7 if you guys are cool with that. I'll put Murphy at 7.
Yeah.
One of the interviews in the offseason, though, Duke Tobin did kind of allude to the fact that they're going to take care of the tight end position, and then all they did was get Kaseki for a 1-year deal. So maybe they do have a plan in the draft, whether it be Brock Bowers or Sanders or Sanat or Wiley, whoever. I think that they got something going on.
And I don't want to spend all day debating each little position here. So I'm going to say Murphy at 7, Bowers at 8. I think Quinyon Mitchell could be 9th on their board, and I think it's going to be interesting if he's there at 18. The reason I put him over Arnold, because Arnold's personally higher on my board, is the speed. One guy ran a 4.3, one ran a 4.5. They valued the speedier guys lately when it comes to the secondary and corner. They came to the Britt, 4.3, DJ Turner, 4.26.
You need fast guys to catch fast guys.
Yep. Do you think Quinyon could be a true number 1?
I don't have any idea if you're asking me. And I assume you are because I'm the only one here. And Greg came back eating a fucking mouthful of Swiss cheese.
No, American food. Sharp cheddar. Extra sharp.
Sharp cheddar.
All right, Greg, do you think Quinyon could be a true number 1?
I'm glad you guys brought that up because I think that's a guy very under the radar. I mean, you think I like him more than Arnold. I know he went to a small school, but the way they like speedy corners, I would have no problem. I think he is very capable of doing it. You know, I have said this a lot that don't be surprised. Everybody acts like it's either offense or defensive line. I think cornerback is very much in play. I think it is.
I think if it's one of these top 2, especially, then it should be. If you think it's a true number 1, I'm not sure about Wiggins just because of his frame, his light size, and you've already got DJ Turner who's a little bit lighter. Like I don't know that we need 2 of those.
Right.
You know, so I like Arnold and I like Mitchell. If they're going to take a corner, I hope it's one of those top 2 that they just can't pass up.
Who would it be though if both were there?
No, I that's why I said Mitchell higher.
Yeah, Mitchell. Okay, Mitchell.
For the Bengals, I think. He's personally higher on my board because I love the way he hits and he's physical as hell. Former safety and Terrion Arnold. But Mitchell being faster is what I said, Greg, when you were shoving cheese in your mouth.
When you're eating your
asshole.
sharp.
All right, man. I'm getting home, man. I'm in my cheese time. We'll call it cheese time.
I'm glad you showed it to us.
You having some cheese with that wine, Greg?
Yeah, sure I am, man. I just drink a beer from the fridge, and I drink a beer from the fridge, and I put it back in, and I come back later to drink some more.
See, I hadn't heard anything about this. If that's about Quinyon, you say Q, I guess Quinyon. Some injuries about him. I seen the Brian Thomas one that Dane Brugler said there's some teams concerned about him with medicals.
This is Pork Chop spreading all the medical rumors so that he would fall.
That's right. Yeah.
It's Pork Chop.
Especially this one here where GB off of X says Brian Thomas injury concerns and character issues. Character issues.
He's a loner. He's
He's going to be alone. He's going to be alone 30 or 40 yards down the goddamn field while everybody's trying to catch him.
LSU homer Pork Chop, by the way.
Launches the ball to him.
So we got Murphy at 7, Bowers at 8. You cool with Quinyon at 9, guys? I mean, not knowing the medicals because we don't have medicals.
Yeah.
Okay, how about 10? 10, Turner or Mims, I think, because I think we're getting in the range where they're going to have Mims.
Mims?
I think it would be Turner, actually.
I would say Mims.
I think Turner's the one DN that they would be like, okay, we can't pass on him.
Right.
But I also think he has a good chance to go at number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons.
Right. No, I don't think he's going to be
he's
there.
there
I'm
10
just saying.
spots later.
No, I'm sure they
when you
like
guys did
I
that
like
mock
Mims a lot,
draft,
but Turner, I think Turner's wave a bit. But we're talking about I can't be thinking need here. It's like who is higher, the better hire. I think it's Turner.
Yeah, and it could be slightly, and it could be one of those discussions if it actually came to that.
Right.
They passed on Turner slightly higher on their board for Mims for the positional need.
Exactly.
Would you guys all agree that we could go that route? Turner at 10 overall, Mims at
Yep.
11 overall on the Bengals. Predictive Bengals big board.
Yep.
So we're going Turner over Mims.
Yeah. Now we're kind of moving on. Terrion Arnold, Jared Verse, Talise Fuaga, Fautanu, Wiggins, Newton. We're getting into this. This next is kind of the next grouping of guys. Do you think? I think Terrion Arnold would probably be at 12. Even though a little slower, like I said, there's still a lot to love about his game. I think he's the other corner they would consider.
I got to tell you, man, I don't like this list a whole lot, and I'll tell you the reason. Is because one of these players that we've already put on our board at 12 is going to be there at 18, and we ain't set our guy yet.
Brian Thomas.
No. Fucking Johnny Newton.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just mentioned him with this grouping. So I think
Yeah.
I just, to me, I think they have Mims higher. But personally, I hope it's not the case.
Right.
I hope Newton's higher. I think Newton should be a lot higher than Mims, personally.
So I think the whole Newton thing, I think what matters on that is how the top 30 went, because if they checked out all his medicals and all his medicals checked out, I think he will move way up their board.
They probably did, Derek, and that's why he was drinking that fucking little gift thing on the Bengals Twitter, like,
Well,
hey.
Because we
Here
were
I
all
come.
saying we were surprised for a while why we never heard that Newton visit, because you figured they'd want to get him in for a visit to check out his knee. That's a lot of times when teams want a guy in for a visit.
Something's wrong with his knee now, too?
No. Yeah, didn't he have knee issues going into the combine?
Foot.
It was a
Foot. Sorry.
Greg, don't start ruining
Yeah,
his
let's
name
not.
before the
Goddamn.
draft.
He's
Hey, I'm
already got
helping
foot
him.
issues.
No, I'm just kidding. No, okay, his foot and all that and stuff. But
It's
like I said,
spreading. His
His
foot
leg
is-
was amputated.
Yeah, his foot issue
Yeah.
metastasized to his knee. He will have brain
and I heard he
cancer
had a
by the
gas
end of the
mask
day.
on.
and nobody came to his birthday party.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Nobody came. He's a prick.
All right, so 13. Who do you guys want to put after Arnold at 12? Between Verse
Newton.
for the Bengals. Do you think they'll go ahead and have Newton?
Yes.
I
I hope
think Newton
so.
will be higher
Yes.
just because I think the medical's cleared.
And we hope maybe they'll say, hey, you know what? We actually like Newton better than Mims. They're not far off on our board. These D tackles are getting paid $100 million. Let's get the pass rush juice from Newton. That'd be nice. All right, so we're moving Newton up to 13.
Here we go.
Yes.
Fuaga? I could see Fuaga next.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because even though, like, Verse, I think, is talent enough to be in the conversation, for us, it doesn't make sense. Like
What about
Jimmy said, if they
Barrett
take a DN,
Right.
what about Murphy? Exactly. What about Osai? What about Cam Sample? You've got 5 guys that you can rotate and feel comfortable with.
Right. It's a good problem to have.
Now, Dallas Turner, I think, stays on the board because he's 21. You start talking about Verse and Latu, they're closer to 24 years old. So I think that would knock them down the board. So I think Fuaga, I think he could be the next guy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I could see that.
I think that they're going to have him rated high. They need a tackle. It's one of the biggest positions of need.
So we'll put Fuaga will be 14th overall on the board, I believe. And then we're starting to get into, okay, Jared Verse, Troy Fautanu, Nate Wiggins, Latu, Martin.
You really showing disrespect to Derek here, Dale, by not having Tyler Guyton in here.
No shit, man.
No, I still think he'll go in the first round, just not this early.
No, I hear you. I'm just.
So, how about Fautanu next? 15th overall.
I think so.
Because you can play him at guard. He's played left tackle. I think he could play right tackle. Hell, he could probably play center if he worked on it.
Hey, all right.
So we're talking 15th on the board. And most likely their board with no quarterbacks, 1 D end, 2 corners at that point. No, the top 3 receivers, which are probably gone. They're picking at 18. They should get one of these players. So I'll read the list again. They should get one of these players, in my opinion. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, J.C. Latham, Roma Dunze, Olu Fashanu, Byron Murphy, Brock Bowers, Quinyon Mitchell, Dallas Turner, Amarius Mims, Terrion Arnold, Jerzon Newton, Talise Fuaga, Troy Fautanu. That is the 15 players that we would have ranked on their board.
Yep.
To me, they get one of those 15. Would you guys agree?
Yep.
As of right now.
I
agree.
Yeah.
They should. They should. Regardless what you think of Mims or what you think of Latham, I think they're on the Bengals board, and I think they could be one of the guys that they pick, and that'll be in their top 15 that they get at 18. Because quarterbacks are going to go. Hell, we're talking 6 quarterbacks might go. All you need is 4 to go. 4 to go to drops one of these names to us. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Right.
T. Brookie says he just wants one of those picks that I don't want any of those picks no one saw coming. I want a solid guy. Well,
His name is Patrick Paul, and I'm trying to prepare for it.
Buckle up, T. Brookie. Buckle up, T. Brookie, because that's what the Bengals do, man. They come out of left field. That's what I was going to say, Dale. So we got our top 15 on the Bengals
I'll take
board.
Tyler Guyton. I will take Tyler Guyton. Do not give me Patrick Paul. Like, don't do that to me.
If you see an outlier that nobody expects to come in and that the Bengals can surprise us with, who could it possibly be?
Fucking Patrick Paul, because he had a top 30 visit. He's talking about going in the first round. Just scares the living hell out of me. He started for parts of 5 years, 4-year full-time starter, started a few games for his true freshman season. His footwork is a mess. He stands straight up. I mean, 6'7", 330, has the size that, Pollock's probably going to like. It's probably why they had him in multiple times. But he would be a huge reach. I think he might be a reach at 49, personally. So if we even trade down and take him, I think that's a Jackson Carman-sized mistake. So he's the one guy that I'm like, please, Lord. I'm like, there's no way they can screw up pick 18. Patrick Paul enters conversation. Okay, There's a way.
Now, the one thing we got to remember is the Bengals do things a little differently with their top 30 visits. They don't just use those 4 players in the first round. So they could be.
But they use them a lot of times for undrafted free agents or guys they want early in the draft. It's usually one of the two.
Yeah. But this could be they was looking at him for the second round or the third round.
I'm hoping, Derek. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But my radar is up, and I'm a little concerned. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Radar's always up when it comes to the draft. I mean, they did it to us last year with Miles Murphy. Nobody saw that one coming.
Nobody at all.
I mean, I did. I literally
he was actually the only guy left on my big board.
Yeah. We saw it coming. Don't lie to us.
Oh.
Because I kept saying one of the Clemson D linemen, 3-4 picks before. Yeah. I'm like, man, it's really shaping up to be Breesy, who went 1 pick after, or Murphy.
Yeah. I had $100 bet on it that the Bengals would pick a defensive lineman.
Oh, there you go.
Some other names. So Latu, I think, Jared Verse, we mentioned. I think they're older. I think they'll be somewhere on their board. I just don't see them going edge. I don't see them doing it unless it's Dallas Turner falls and they just are like, we can't pass this talent up. Because he could end up being as good as Will Anderson was last year for the Texans. Defensive Rookie of the Year. So I don't think you could pass that up if he falls, but I don't think he falls there. But the other 2, I think, are going to be great players. I just don't think they're going to be great enough to where you pass up any other position of potential need that you have. O tackle, D tackle, wide receiver, corner. I think all those positions make more sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of corner, I could see a couple other guys being on their board. Nate Wiggins, who I mentioned, Leiter from Clemson, Cooper DeJean from Iowa, Kool-Aid McKinstry, probably farther down that board, but he could be on that board somewhere, I think. So those three.
Now, who's this guy? Ron McDong.
I don't know, Chop.
You
Look it
graded
up.
him?
Maybe you should Google search Ron McDong and see what pops up.
I heard he runs a good deep route.
Yeah.
Ron McDong.
All right, so are we going to do the Bengals and Brews big board now?
We can. I want to mention a few more names. Like Graham Barton, I think somewhere on that list. Position versatile. Chop Robinson could be on that list. Talking another edge guy. He's younger. He's younger than the other couple guys there with Verse and Latu. Brian Thomas, the medicals. Now he could be off, but you got to mention him. Tyler Guyton, which we mentioned. Patrick Paul, which we mentioned. You can't ignore the 30 visit and the size.
Yeah.
I think lower on the list, but that's what I'm talking about right now.
Like I say, Paul, team captain, you got to like that out of him, but no way on that list. I mean, I don't care. I mean, what if I was a team captain right now and it not going to happen?
I'll mention Jackson Powers Johnson, I think would be lower on the list. And there is some concerns. Maybe, I don't know what's going on, but he is falling. He's fallen into the second round a lot in a lot of mocks, and there's just some stuff floating out there about him. Darius Robinson, who plays edge, but I think could play D tackle, would be the last name that I think kind of at least would fill out the board here for the Bengals.
I could
now we can get into our board.
The way that they devalue interior O-line, I could see guys like Jackson Powers Johnson actually not being on their board until later.
And we don't know about Graham Barton, and we don't know what they think of Troy Fautanu. We don't know the exact positions they're thinking for these guys either. Yeah. They're wild cards, though, to me.
Yeah.
Because they both played left tackle. They both played left tackle in college, so.
Yeah.
All right, our board, I'm starting. You argue with me if you want, but my number one would be Joe Alt.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
My personal board. Bengals and Brews board. If you guys disagree, go ahead. Majority consensus.
I mean, it might be a homer pick for me, but I would still have
Cade Stover.
Yeah,
that's for Tyler, who I don't see in the chat yet.
Yeah, I would still have the only guy that I really see in the first round that has Hall of Fame caliber talent. And that's the Ohio State wide receiver.
Yeah, I got Joe Alt as a Hall of Famer already. I've already put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's
why I like him so much.
Alt is my number one, but I'll tell you who my number two is.
So I've got Alt number one, Harrison Jr. number two. Chop, you got to break this tie here. Derek's got Harrison number one. You wouldn't even have Harrison number one receiver.
No, I wouldn't even have Harrison as my number one receiver.
Right, exactly. Because Chop, you like.
I'm still trying to figure out my number one if it's Neighbors or if it's fucking Joe Alt, because the same fucking argument happened back in 2021 in that draft, and with Sewell versus Chase.
Yeah.
And we fucking went with Chase, and it worked out great. Went to the Super Bowl that year. So I'm just saying, if you said to Joe Burrow, and you even took out the alumni bullshit about LSU at Neighbors, and you said to Burrow, Joe Alt or Malik Neighbors, I think Joe Burrow goes, fucking Malik Neighbors all day, man. I'll run. If they come from the right, I'll fucking take off, and I'll throw it to Malik
But he might
Neighbors.
say, I have Jamar Chase now.
Yeah.
We have Chase now. That's the problem.
I'm just saying.
And he might say, I'm tired of getting hit.
He is. I'm telling
Several
you,
injuries later.
if you tell Joe Burrow he's got a chance for the next 5 fucking years to throw the ball, and he's running through his progressions, and 2 of those progressions are Jamar Chase and Malik Neighbors, Joe Burrow is jacking off all fucking night thinking about that shit.
All right, let's not spend too much time on this because no one else said Malik Neighbors. So
Right.
Joe Alt number one,
I'm all
Marvin
alone.
Harrison number two, Malik Neighbors number three. There you
Foiled
go.
again. God damn it. Son of a bitch.
For me, next, I have Olu Fashanu as my 4th overall that I would take. Small hands, I know, but the tape is so great. He's still young. He would have been a top 10 pick last year if he came out. Like, everybody's like, well, the Ohio State game wasn't great. He got, some bull rushes with, the 2 DNs there that went back to school, Sawyer and Tuamolo.
Tuamolo.
Yeah,
damn,
however you
man.
want to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But I think he's
ahead
very
and try
good. I didn't think he was near as bad watching that. I've watched that game back a couple times just because I'm like, am I too high on this guy? I think he's a damn good pass blocker, and we throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
He has some things to clean up in the run game, but I've got Fashanu 4, and you guys can disagree, but at 5, I have Johnny Newton on my personal board.
Hey,
I like it.
I'm cool with that because I know that the Bengals, we need a right tackle. It's a fight in my head because it's not a sexy pick. It's a solid pick, right tackle. And I know we need that, but I've been waiting to hear that either one of the D tackles' names.
So would you guys have Newton over Fashanu?
Yes.
Okay. We'll put it.
I would. I don't
personal
speak for these
board.
guys. I would.
Derek?
Is that you, Dick? Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. I'll let you guys have this one.
All right.
It is
And
tough.
either way, I think it would be a hell of a conversation if I was manning the draft controls for the Bengals and it came down to Fashanu falls to 18 and Newton's there. And I would have to bring in my scouts and ask them if I was the
Right.
GM. They'd have to sell me because I would be okay with either one at that point.
Yeah.
But I like
Which one would give you a raging hard on, though?
Johnny Newton, man.
I told you, that's what I'm saying.
I've been all over.
Shanu ain't getting your dick hard. Johnny Newton will go.
Fact
Thank
right
you,
here, guys.
thank you, T. Brookie. I love the draft, man. It's just a passion.
Fact right there.
And then if
Boner
Johnny
list.
Newton,
Joe Alt and Johnny Newton's definitely on the boner list.
Jay,
yeah, if we get
Joe and Johnny.
either one of them, we'll have them on the show and talk about how they were on the boner list. How they made
Yeah.
us go full fucking chub in record time. And
I
blew
still
the
need to
whole
get
show
Yoshi
like
on the
he
show to
was.
tell him he was my boner guy the entire time.
He knows, Greg.
You want Yoshi to come on and say, Yoshi, you're my boner guy.
Yeah, that'll go great.
Yoshi
Boner guy.
immediately closes out his screen and says,
Yeah, that's not going to go well. Is it?
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen there.
Greg will change his screen name to Greg's boner guy.
Exactly.
Now, the next one you guys are going to probably veto me on. I have Brock Bowers because he's 5th overall on my big board. So I have Brock Bowers behind Joe Alt, Marvin Harris, and Malik Neighbors. We went with Johnny Newton, Fashanu.
Yeah.
I have Brock Bowers next. Over Byron Murphy and Fuaga. That is how I have them ranked. Is for me, Bowers, Murphy, Fuaga, then Adunze, and then Quinyon. That's how I round out my top 10. You guys argue with me and tell me how wrong I am and who should be next on the list.
Personally, I would go Murphy, then Fuaga.
Yeah, no, I would do that.
Derek?
I also think the Bengals are high on Murphy, but I know we're not doing the Bengals.
I know
we're doing
this
our
is our
board.
this is
No,
our
I like
board.
Murphy more than Fuaga.
We
I
are
don't hate
trying to
Fuaga. I
come
just
up
like
with
Murphy
together.
more.
But I got excited when we went D tackle, and I want to stay on this high for just a minute.
I want to say hi too, man. I'm high as
So-
fat right here.
All right,
So,
Derek. These two are high, so
Man.
give me some common sense here.
It's all about the money to me. I don't like the thought of paying a tight end in the first round because you're not getting very much value. When you're getting these guys in the freaking second round, third round, fourth round, you're paying a minimal amount for the tight end position. But I also understand where I think it was Paul Dehner Jr. was coming from when he said, if you take out the thought of him being a tight end and just say pass catcher number 2 on the team, and you're only paying him, 17 mil, 16 mil?
You're going to pay a tight end less on an extension. Right now, we're
right.
going to
Yeah.
probably lose
Well-
T. Higgins in a year or two.
Well,
Right.
can I ask you guys
Yeah.
this? Because
So that's got Bowers moving back up for me.
yeah.
Because you
So
think
I'm
of it,
okay
hey, we
with
got a
Bowers
better
being
chance to
the next guy.
extend. We got a better chance to extend the tight end, right, Derek?
Exactly.
Yes,
Well,
that's
I'm
true.
thinking of
And
this
if
6
you're
years
saying
down
you're
the
not
road.
paying that much for a tight end, remember, we can get him for 5 years, man. That's 5 years with a fucking
Even
elite
his
tight
even
end.
his 5th-year option.
But-
Chase
Yeah.
got his 5th-year option, by the way, extended today. We didn't
Oh.
mention that earlier.
I was asleep.
Yep.
So
Let me
Chase
ask-
got his 5th-year extended, but it is the value of the franchise tag, which is top 5 highest paid. So his for this season, but it's for the next year 5th-year option. So it's $21 million for Chase. So Bowers, his franchise tag would end, or 5th-year option would end up being a lot less than what a wide receivers would. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another thought.
Yeah, but no.
Money-wise.
And
But someone was on a show, I think it was Malik or something, that said, like, Bowers could argue if he starts getting pass catches, could Bowers try to make a case, hey, I want to get paid like a wide receiver than a tight end? Could he have a good argument with that?
I mean, they can make a case all they want, but it don't ever
Right.
fucking work out in their favor.
Right.
If he
Yeah.
goes to the right
Ask
team and
Travis
they
Kelce
overpay,
how well that worked.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know if he's like, hey, I'm playing like a wide receiver right here. I want wide receiver type money, because I think like wide receivers like average like what $25 million versus like what 17 million or something with a tight end.
Mhm.
KB, start drawing it up, KB. I'm ready to buy.
Hey, KB, man, you draw it up, I'll buy it, buddy.
That'll be a nice piece of artwork if we get.
Hell yeah, KB.
Hell yes.
It'll just be all of us jerking off in the background.
Right, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Frame it.
So I'm good with Bowers being where he's at.
I'm good with him too. You know, I was out on Bowers for a while, but the closer we get to the draft, the more I feel like if we get Bowers, I am not going to be mad at it. I'm going to be,
Oh, no, for sure.
I'll be excited. I won't be.
No, I'll be
It's taken
excited.
me up. It's taken me up until the day before the draft to finally be okay with it, but I'm okay with it now.
I was
We got
okay
you
with it
sold.
3 days ago.
And
Derek.
then, like, it's
Yeah. I'm a Bowers slurper.
Just like a Gasecki. Are you a Gasecki slurper along with me chopping Joe?
I am now. Now that
Hell
I
yeah!
Yo.
Welcome to the club.
Yep.
So if we're going Bowers at 6, I got Byron Murphy at 7. Does anybody object to that? I think.
Nope.
And I think NFL views him higher than Johnny Newton, but personally, I love the pass rush juice that Johnny Newton would give this team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is our big board. B.
Yeah. B.
Yep.
So, and
Oh.
we understand that some of these players are not going to be there. Like the start of our board is Joe Alt, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors. Then we go Johnny Newton, Olu Fashanu, Brock Bowers. Now we're getting into guys that maybe could start being there a little more, but there's still a couple probably going to be gone. Like Byron Murphy at 7. 8, I think this guy could be there. Some people think he would be a better guard than right tackle, but he gave up no sacks in 2 years as a starting right tackle for Oregon State. Talieisi Fuaga. Anybody complaining if I have him at 8?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Let me ask you this: if you're so, I'm just wondering, like, if you take him and you say he's an interior offensive lineman, and that's what he's going to play in the NFL, and so it's him or Jackson Powers Johnson. Where you still have him way above Jackson Powers Johnson if it's only for interior offensive line?
Man, you're making that a little tough. But yes, because I think he can play tackle, and Jackson Powers
Right.
Johnson, I would not want to have to
Right.
play.
I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, if you're
But
going to bring that guy in,
I wouldn't have him this high if I didn't believe he could play right tackle. I
yeah,
would.
okay,
Yeah.
Like,
Position versatility moves him up above JPJ for me.
Yep.
but I think he can play tackle, or he wouldn't be in the conversation. As
JPJ's got a lot of position versatility. Too.
He does.
Just
He
just
does.
not tackle. I mean, that
He's
guy can play.
He's played it though. He's played right tackle for a game in a pinch for Oregon. Just saying.
That's why I don't know, man. That dude's a fucking monster.
Hey, could he be our third string quarterback?
He may be.
He could be Dave Lapham.
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right. So this one people might say I'm too low on, but this is our board, damn it. So
Right.
Ramadunze at 9.
Yeah.
I'll at least
Yeah.
toss him on the list, but I mean he's not up there at 2 and 3 like Harrison and Neighbors for me because I'd rather have Johnny Newton, Brock Bowers, Byron Murphy, Huaga, Fashanu.
Yeah,
I'd rather have
and
those guys before.
It's our
Brown,
board,
personally.
goddammit.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah,
if you don't
fuck
like
off,
it.
man. It's our board. Put a punter on there, Dale.
You guys might argue with this one. Quinion at
Corey
10.
Taylor.
Quinion at 10.
Man,
You
I'm
might
not
be
going to
going
argue
higher.
about it because if we get another corner to match up with, look, man, I love my guy DJ Turner, Juan Drago, and I do think he's going to make a step up. And I don't think that the Bengals go for a cornerback, but if they get Arnold or Mitchell at 18, I'm not mad.
So here's the conversation. I'm putting Mitchell above J.C. Latham, Troy Fautanu, and Amarius Mims.
I'm not mad at that.
Do you know what I'm saying? As a player-wise, for me personally, I believe in Quinion Mitchell more, that he will be successful in the NFL. That's how I would put my board.
Dale, I would not complain. I'm very high on Quinion Mitchell. I will not bitch it off if we got him at 18. Even if we took him over Latham, which that will never happen, but yeah.
Yeah, which we already did the Bengals board. This is our board.
Tyler, you're late. We were talking about you earlier.
Yeah, Cade Stover was Derek's number one overall player.
Yep.
Cade Stover was Derek's number one overall player on our big board.
But he got overruled.
Yeah.
So in the last few years, I can't remember the exact stat, but I think it was like cornerback 4 has played like close to 50% of snaps for the Bengals.
And like 800 snaps a season, a shitload, a lot more than the D tackles who rotate.
Yeah, and that's why I would have him higher. And this is also saying, that we think that the Browntons are both going to play 17 games.
But I mean, we had Alt, Fashanu, and Fuaga already on our board, so it's not like we're ignoring tackle.
Right.
If I can get one of those three, I'm going to get them over Quinion. But I'm not going to force. But I've got Latham right behind Mitchell.
It's a group consensus, but to be honest, I would probably go Latham over any corner, personally.
All right, Greg, you can make the argument. I wouldn't be mad at it.
You know what, man? It's close, but
if the two are sitting there, you want
what's
Who
that?
you want if the two are
Who do you
sitting
want
there.
us to take?
If Latham and Mitchell are the ones that are sitting there, you get to pick at 18. Which one are you taking?
Latham, Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell easily. I would take Mitchell.
Okay, that's 1 for Latham, 2 for Mitchell. Go ahead, Derek.
I'm Mitchell.
Cocksuckers! Hey, God damn it!
Sorry, love you to death, Chap, but I'm sorry, man.
All right, so to recap our top 10 as we continue, Joe Alt on our personal board at number 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 2, Malik Neighbors at number 3, Johnny Newton at number 4, Olu Fashanu at number 5, Brock Bowers at number 6, Byron Murphy at number 7, Talaisi Fuaga at number 8, Roma Dunze at number 9, and Quinion Mitchell at number 10. It's our personal board. We've got no quarterbacks, no DNs, because fuck it. Fuck the edges. We don't care. We got other guys there. We drafted a first-round pick last year.
Right.
So we ain't putting them on our board. At 11, up next, we're getting in the conversation now, Terry, on Arnold, another corner, J.C. Latham, Amarius Mims,
I would go
Troy
Latham.
Fautanu.
Wait, what'd you say, Derek?
I would go Latham.
I've got Latham at 11.
What the fuck? What about you, Greg?
You know what, guys? I'm going to take Mims over Latham.
Man, shut the fuck up, Greg. God damn it, we had something going here.
All
I'm
right,
sorry,
well,
guys.
you're outvoted, so fuck you. So you
Yeah,
pick
fuck
Latham
you,
because the
Greg.
rest
It's your
of us
turn to
pick
get
Latham.
fucked this time. It's Latham.
Oh, I've been fucked so many times. I'm used to it.
Yeah. Bend over,
Whoa.
motherfucker.
What, pause?
Put that
Pause.
fucking Swiss cheese up your ass.
The sharp cheddar, Chap.
Sharp
Well, you're
shit.
going to get both.
All right, Troy Fautanu, Arnold, and Mims. Who we putting at 12? Derek,
Troy Fautanu. I would put Troy Fautanu up there.
I am not putting Mims on my fucking board, believe it or not.
Do you think Fautanu is a tackle? That ultimately,
I don't care. He can play guard. I think he can play tackle, and he can play guard for me. If I'm Fautanu, that's intriguing.
I like Mims better just because of the size. And
I like the
upside.
potential for Mims. I just don't. I'm not buying into it.
Mims, you know what? I got to go back. Like, Fuatano seems more of a safe pick. But
we're at 18. We're at 18. Who do you want the Bengals to select? These are the options: Troy Fautanu, Terrion Arnold, and Amarius Mims.
And Terrion Arnold is very, very tempting. You know what?
You know what? I probably would go Mims, actually.
You know what? No. I said Fuatano. I'm changing back to Mims. I'm sticking my gut with Mims. I like Mims.
I think Mims has got great potential. He could be the best tackle in the draft.
Yeah.
I'm just very nervous about it.
Oh, I do, but like I think he's got a very, very more higher ceiling with Latham. I'm just tired of going with the safe pick. Tyler,
you spelled Stover wrong. It's Stover.
We got a couple people going Terrion Arnold there.
Yeah, I see that.
I can't blame for that.
We got three. We got three of our members. Our whole member group went Terrion Arnold. So
at the very you know what? Kills me.
At the very
me on that.
Well, at the very least, what we'll do, since we said Mims, I was going to have Fautanu potentially above Arnold. Let's give Arnold next at least 13 on the board.
Right.
All right.
And then I think Fautanu at 14.
I'm good with that.
And then Mims?
No, Mims is at 12.
Oh, we want Mims, Arnold, Fautanu.
Yes.
All right.
Now for 15, here's the guy, and I got a first round cutoff here at 20 players. So here's the rest of it for 15. Graham Barton, Brian Thomas Jr., not knowing what his injury concerns are currently. Jackson Powers Johnson, Cooper DeJean, Nate Wiggins, Tyler Guyton. That's my first round cutoff. I wouldn't take anybody else in the first round for us besides who we've mentioned. Who do you guys want at 15? Graham Barton, Brian Thomas Jr., Jackson Powers Johnson, Cooper DeJean, Nate Wiggins, or Tyler Guyton?
Oh, shit.
I'm between.
I got to go with my guy.
I'm going Brian Thomas. Chop, come on. You're supposed to love me now.
Who's your guy, Derek?
Tyler Guyton.
Oh, I'm not. Fuck that guy. He's a round 2 prospect. We could jump up around 2 to get him. I wouldn't be mad about it, but not fucking round 1. If it's me, I'm picking between Brian Thomas Jr. and what were the man? There was another one in there. What'd you say? Brian Thomas Jr. Who else?
Graham Barton, Jackson Powers Johnson, Cooper
Jackson
DeJean.
Powers Johnson. That's the two that I'm fighting between because I would love to have Jackson Powers Johnson in that line, man. Alex Kappa and Ted Karras are both coming at the end of their contract. To get that guy in there and the interior offensive line would be the same to me at that position as having Joe Alt at your right fucking tackle. So it's very hard, man.
And no love for Graham Barton, who could be a sneaky good pick. Played left tackle, has played center at Duke, projected to play guard, but I think he could play right tackle. People don't talk about that enough. But, yeah. So Barton, Powers Johnson, Brian. It sounds like that's the consensus, even though Derek said Tyler Guyton.
Well, I didn't say Barton, Matt, though. I'm between Brian Thomas Jr. or Jackson Powers Johnson.
Hey, Chop,
but I'm saying Barton should be an option here. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Chop, speaking of Brian Thomas, Matt Miller did his final mock draft for ESPN, and he has us going with Brian Thomas.
If the medicals check out, I've got Brian Thomas. If we're still unsure, he falls for me. And then as far as the rest of the guys, the reason why I say Tyler Guyton is because I don't think the Bengals value, and I know this is our board, but I kind of fall in the same lines as them. I don't think they value interior offensive line as much as we want them to.
And GB says Barton only in a trade down. I think that's where we're at. I think that's where we're at with these guys. These are all trade down and stay in the first round guys.
Yeah.
Even Thomas.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
But let's go Thomas at 15. Thomas at 15.
All right.
So our top 15 we would potentially take at 18. I feel like we'd be comfortable with our top 15 at pick 18. Assuming Thomas's medicals aren't a big concern for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of these guys would be trade down in the first guys, but let's try to rank them we still think just player-wise. So, Graham Barton, Jackson Powers Johnson, Cooper DeJean, Nate Wiggins, Tyler Guyton. Who would you guys have at 16?
Jackson Powers Johnson. If it's me personally, that's what I would have. I just think that we're set at corner. I don't see why we need a corner.
Graham Barton might be center one over him if he strictly was going to be center. Like, that's the thing. But he can play guard and he can play tackle. He's played left.
Wouldn't it be nice to have that versatility with Alex Kappa leaving too? I mean,
Yeah.
possibly leaving.
I think I gotta pound the table for Graham Barton over Jackson Powers Johnson currently. But I want Greg and Derek's thoughts on those two.
Are we saying just those two?
Yeah, I think so because
Okay.
fuck you and Tyler Guyton.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Well, Jackson Powers Johnson, I heard he has a shoulder problem. So that's what I've kind of heard somewhere. So I don't know. I know. I like Jackson Powers Johnson though still, man.
He's got his shoulders fucked. I'd still put him at 16, Greg says.
I'm just kidding.
I
I
heard his shoulder. I heard he got his arm amputated.
You know what? I don't know enough about Barton though, man. I don't know enough about him or anything.
Well, let me tell you about him. Where is it at? He's so versatile.
There you go.
Yeah, so is Jackson
Yeah.
Powers Johnson though.
Yes, he is. But what were you saying about Barton? He could be the pure center.
Yeah, he played center at Duke for a while, and then he moved out to left tackle and has been left tackle for Duke. But he's projected to be a guard, and I also think he could play right tackle, even though he's played left tackle at
So he
Duke.
never played right tackle. He's played. He was solid at center
and
then-
left tackle.
and then played left tackle. Like
He might have got some snaps at guard too at some point.
Here's how I make my pick. This side Barton, this side Powers Johnson. And we flip it right now. Oh my gosh, very epic here. It's Jackson Powers Johnson.
I don't believe him. We never.
Fine.
saw
Here
it.
it is right here.
Pick
Here,
it
fine.
up.
Pick it up.
Fine. We'll do it right here.
He
In the
leaned
corner
down and
there.
flipped it over, didn't he?
Yeah,
Jackson Powers Johnson.
it sounds like we're gonna have to go to the chat because I've got Graham Barton. So it's a tie. We'll let the
tied.
chat decide.
I see Matt
Hey,
Walker
take care,
said
Austin.
Barton.
Hey,
That's-
wait, so.
That's the decision.
All right then.
I'm
Tie
going.
break.
So all right, son of a bitch, I got fucking kid.
Hey, I at least I got fucked with you, Chop.
Yeah, we got fucking fucked together.
There we go,
Well,
buddy.
Tyler Bowles said Barton as well. So Barton at 16. We'll go Jackson Powers Johnson at 17.
Oh,
since,
all right.
Since
All
we
right,
had two
thank you.
people that wanted it, let's go ahead and do it. Now we're Cooper DeSheen, Nate Wiggins, Tyler Guyton. I think I could finally allow Derek to take Tyler Guyton and put
Yeah,
him at
yeah,
18th
I
on the
agree.
board.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I agree.
Derek. With our
Do I
what
finally
pick is
get a
it?
turn?
18.
Yes, you do.
With our 18th pick, Derek.
18th on our big
With
board.
our
18th pick on
we
our big
trade back.
board. Derek,
And
the
take
orange
Tyler
flesh arrow Davis picks.
Flex
Go
arrow.
ahead.
The flesh arrow. That should be a New Jersey you get.
Yeah, the flesh arrow.
Yeah.
Tyler Guyton,
Tyler Guy.
Oklahoma.
All
I
right.
just okay. So for Tyler Guyton, for me, it's just there's so many flashes of him just freaking hawking out, and that's just got me so excited about this guy. I understand. I've seen the misses. I've seen the downside. He does have a low floor, but I just for some reason I feel like he has a high
Yeah.
upside, higher than Mims for me.
Well,
Yeah.
from what
He
I
only
understand,
started 13 games.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's just super raw. I mean, Mims looks better on tape when he's played.
Yeah.
Problem is he hasn't played a ton.
Nope.
But we're talking a trade down scenario and having him on our board as our 18th overall on our big board. No edges, no quarterbacks, none of that bullshit.
No, look, the word raw, I don't have a good experience with, man. Who is the chef cooking?
Oh
this?
no!
What the fuck? Do you see
Oh,
the comment?
I thought we were
down
going something else. You raw dogging it?
Yeah. Who is the chef cooking the food, though, is what I want to know. Because if it's me,
Well,
we're
this ain't
screwed.
this, Tyler Guyton ain't chicken, Greg.
I'm just kidding, no, Derek, I'll support it. I'm just saying,
Is
man.
this what
All
they
right.
called Lad? Is this his nickname?
Lad McConkey?
Yes, is that his nickname? Because he's
This
athletically,
is from Bo
he's
Brown from
athletically
Facebook. Lad
gifted.
McConkey.
Yeah.
Lad McHonky for the trade. I know. Yeah, I don't agree with that before Brian Thomas Jr. though.
I don't either.
No.
Because I think the upside's so much bigger, and I think both of them might have injury concerns.
Brian Thomas Jr., man, he's going to run down that field, and he's going to open it up, man. Someone's got to cover that deep threat, and that's him. And Jamar Chase is going to work that motherfucker over if Brian Thomas Jr. is out there.
I was about to say, like, in my
but
opinion,
Ladd McConkey, I will say
one.
Ladd McConkey, now, since it's McConkey, if he's there at 49, I think, man, he'd be great in the slot for us at 49.
Yeah. I think with Brian Thomas Jr., you want a 1-for-1 replacement for T. It's that guy.
Is this so? Bo says the bad knee. Is that the medical concern with Thomas Jr.? I was sleeping today. Is that it? The knee?
It might be. I don't know.
I think he's probably talking about Thomas Jr.
I just seen that
have to let us know.
A medical concern.
Just saying, man. Just because it's a knee issue doesn't mean it's something it's bad. I mean, Jamar Chase had a goddamn fractured hip.
Yeah, but I mean, if teams flagged him for it, that means it's bad.
Yeah.
So,
well,
that was kind of the report from Dane Brugler.
Oh, well, good, man. Knock him down to 49. Yeah.
So Cooper DeJean, Nate Wiggins, I would go that order with them, but it's
Derek's
close.
Cousins.
Derek's Cousins.
To finish out, trade down scenario. Finish out our top 20 players there. Cooper DeJean, Nate Wiggins, you guys fine with that order?
Yeah.
Yep. Those two I could flip around either way you want.
Yeah, I could care less. I want to mention some names because this goes into. So we're not going to go beyond 20 on our board, but I want to mention some names like I did when we did the Bengals board. Some other names, and maybe this is a second round. Maybe some of these guys fall to 49. Guys to be interested in that I would have fairly high on my board after our top 20 there. Darius Robinson, because I'd play him at D tackle. Adonai Mitchell, who I think could go late first. There's some potential medical, other character concerns with him, some different stuff going on. Kingsley Suamatea, I think if he was there at 49 would be fun. Jordan Morgan has played left tackle, projected to maybe play guard. I think he could probably play right tackle too.
I've seen him drafted to us in some different mocks too.
Yeah.
My mock.
Zach Frazier. So Zach Frazier, center, could probably play left guard if you needed him to for a season. Chris Jenkins from Michigan, the D tackle, I think would be a good target at 49.
I like that guy.
Rook Aroro.
Latham's pick. I know Liam's pick.
So he would be, I think, a damn good player to get if you go O tackle in the first, D tackle in the second. Rook and Chris Jenkins, I really like there. Xavier Worthy, let's just say he falls to 49. Speedster, I know the John Ross scariness and this and that.
I know.
But he's a very good route runner. 3 productive seasons at Texas, very productive. If he falls.
He has solid hand.
Yeah. He doesn't have brick hands.
His hands, okay, so he had some drops, but he also, when he had a lot of drops, he was playing through a broken hand. So
Okay.
Still playing, still
I'll
producing.
allow it.
And then Kool-Aid McKinstry, I think, would at least be, he falls to the second, obviously, and maybe he's in that conversation with Wiggins and DeJean for the Bengals, like a trade down very late first, even. So that's kind of some guys.
What happened to your homerism, Dale? Where's Michael Hall?
I don't know, man. I really like him. But for the Bengals, I want somebody who's just a better run defender. It's the same thing with Braden Fiske. Like, if I'm going league-wide, I got Fiske rated higher than Chris Jenkins and Rook Aroro. But for the Bengals, I want a guy that can do both. And I think Chris Jenkins and Rook can do both. Right now, they're better against the run, and I think we need better against the run, especially after adding Sheldon Rankins and losing DJ Reader.
Yeah,
so,
no, I get it.
But Johnny Newton is such a freak. I can't say that in the first round.
Right.
Yeah.
And I still think Johnny Newton is underrated against the run, and Byron Murphy's good against the run. I think. Those guys
about Fiske?
Yeah, I was saying, like, he's similar. He's higher on my board than those two, but I think he's a pass rush guy. He's 24 years old. If he don't win immediately, just with his quick first step, he's got high effort, but he gets swallowed up a lot too. So I don't love him for the Bengals. He's not going to help in the run game enough.
How's he against the run?
He's not good enough.
Fuck him then.
What about
I'm
Corey?
telling you, I think that when we go D tackle, a big thing on that's going to be against the run because fucking we got Nick Chubb and now we got Derrick Henry in the goddamn division. So you got to play the run, man, with Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry in your division.
Right. Did I hear correctly that Nick Chubb might not play this year because of the injury?
Man, you can't buy some of these rumors, man. Some of these rumor sites that are saying these things are trash.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, I get it.
No offense, but fuck you. You're trash. I said no offense first, so I can say whatever I want, right?
Exactly.
Tyler had to get
That's
it
how
in while
works.
he's on his break. Kate Stover.
Greg, you had something?
Did I? Yeah, one guy. Look, apparently the rumor has it that I like every single player in this draft. I know there's always the
Rumor
same.
has it.
Hey, I like this guy. I wanted that guy. There's some players I don't like in the draft. I just choose not to say anything because I don't want this player watching. I'm like, that son of a bitch.
What player do you think that the Bengals might pick that would piss you off? I'll tell you, we talked about mine because I heard people yesterday. I was watching Jeff's show and he had John Sheridan on there and Dallas, the guy that's on there with Jay Morrison on PFN show. Okay. And I swear to God, they were talking about possible Michael Hall at 18, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's...
Dude, hell no.
Michael Hall at 18, I would be like, what the fuck are they?
No. I just don't like, like I said, I don't want some player watching like, oh, I'm going to kick Greg's ass or something. He doesn't. No, I know quarterback. If it's a quarterback, obviously, like I say, there's a lot of good players in this draft that I like. I mean, but would there be a spit like Patrick Paul? I don't know. Probably.
How about Sweat in the third? So as we're,
I would take him
because I don't, and we can have more of these conversations on the Thursday night show and seeing what we pick.
I would take Sweat. Okay, I understand. Look, I understand this. What he did off the field, young, very, made a mistake. It was a bad mistake, but look, we got a great team here. I think if you put him on a team like the Bengals, I think we'll be fine. I am fine.
If it was the one mistake, and listen, I still mock him a lot of times, especially at 97.
Right.
If it was the one mistake, it would be, okay, that's fine. But there's the concerns about, will he keep his weight in check? Does he love football? Yeah. He's known as a partier. He was already having to answer those questions before he goes into DWI in the most important month of his life. He would be a huge risk, honestly. But at 97, with that lottery ticket of the comp pick, and it shouldn't be a lottery ticket. It's still a premium top 100 pick. But I'm just saying, man, it'd be hard to pass up knowing how much we need run support.
Yes, we did.
I would be okay with us taking him at 97, but I will say there's going to be concerns.
Well, no, Dale, like you said earlier, free agency, you wish the Bengals would have had a plan B in place for DJ Reader, like that road, like you mentioned that Roach guy. I mean, I wish we wouldn't have to be in this situation, or like you wish there was more of a selection of nose tackles.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean,
I want to mention one thing talking to D tackle Chop, and then I'll let you go. Yeah. So we drafted Tyler Sheldon in the 4th round, and that's basically he couldn't keep his weight and stuff under control and got cut after like 1 year as a 4th rounder, and he's completely out of the league. So will the Bengals be more concerned about Sweat than what we say as fans? I could see that being I could see him being off their board.
Oh, no, I could see it.
Go ahead, Chop. Sorry.
I don't even know what the fuck I was going to say. Sorry, I read a text in between. My wife was texting me. She got bit by a dog at work.
Oh.
Again?
Yeah. She got hurt. A little cut on her finger.
Ooh.
See at the bottom? It says,
oh, my Lord.
I got hurt.
I got hurt.
Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified that.
I know. She got hurt. What was it? I don't fucking know, man.
It's all good, Chop.
But I'm excited for tomorrow.
I'm excited as hell.
That's the one thing I wasn't going to say that this time, but I was thinking earlier, like, what is the one when I asked Greg, like, what's the one pick that'll make you mad? And I said Michael Hall, but the thing that'll make me even more upset is if they trade into the second round and I could watch all tomorrow night. I've been waiting, and then they extend it one more day. I'm just going to be like, son of a bitch. Just want them to make a pick.
If we do that, we better get back so much draft capital.
Right.
To trade.
But no, I'll say this. And Patrick Ball, cool, but first
that's
round.
fair, man. Yeah, if we trade down and he is our first selection, I don't care when he's the first selection. If he is our first selection, even in the second round, if he's our first selection because we traded out, I'll probably break shit.
I'll support it. I support either way, but not in the first round. Hey, Pat, if you're watching this show and you're a Bengal in the second round, we're cool. I'll take it.
I know what I was going to say. I remembered it. So everybody's big on this nose tackle shit, right? So somebody on, I think it was, you made a comment, Dale, and somebody commented back. They were talking about Sweat's the only nose tackle in the draft, pure nose tackle. So I went and asked Joe Goodberry because he's a number cruncher, right? And he said Sweat only played with 13% of snaps at nose tackle or some shit like that, less than 20. And so that's,
doing that.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you say nose tackle, man, DJ Reader was only in 50%. You know, he wasn't in all the time. And then when he was in, he wasn't playing nose tackle all the time. Byron Murphy, he's played nose tackle. Johnny Newton, he's played nose tackle. Mason Smith from LSU, he's played nose tackle. Is Sweat a better nose tackle? Yeah, sure. He's a big
should be, right?
Yeah.
And he's a better run defender. My thing is, I don't get caught up on nose tackle and 3 10.
Exactly.
Can you stop the run? What does the advanced metric show about you stopping the run? And what do I see on tape? Can you stop the fucking run or not? And that's why I say guys like Chris Jenkins, he's not a true nose tackle. He weighs 299 pounds from Michigan. He's a run stuffer. He's good at it.
And I'll fucking take all that. Man, Chris or Jenkins in the second round is starting to be my favorite pick.
So I definitely don't get like discouraged, but there's other guys too, nose tackle, and they usually go later for the nose tackle, run stuffer types, even the Evan Andersons of the world, the Fabian Lovitz of the world, Christian Boyd, who I've mentioned a few times from Northern Iowa. He is very interesting to me. I would be okay with Christian Boyd in even the 4th round, but 5th would be like ideal pick. And maybe they double up.
Christian Boyd would be intriguing. I read about him a little bit, Dale, your draft guy. Christian Boyd is very intriguing.
He's a beast, man.
He's a Northern Iowa guy, right?
Yeah.
No, dude. I'm very intrigued by that.
I'm just excited. We'll know who's Bengals, and man, there's so many ways to win this thing. And like Travis said, give me Juwan Briggs. Yeah, Juwan Briggs is another guy who, I didn't watch a ton of early. He probably would have ended up being on my list as maybe a 6th, 7th round guy for sure.
Right.
But he's in the best of the rest. He's a top D tackle. He's intriguing. And out of UC, the Bengals don't always go to UC. I'm not a UC fan, but damn.
GB, we do throw out the link sometimes, and nobody ever gets on when we do.
Yeah, the space.
Talking about spaces.
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, it just seems like a different beast. It's hard to like control, and I don't want to piss people off. Like, we send the link out here, I have more control over it.
I don't technology, man. I'm fucking 52. I don't understand that shit. Like cars were invented when I was a teenager.
I've tried to hop in spaces a couple of times, man, and it's like the Wild West. I just can't get into it, and maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to like helping be part of one, but I wouldn't want to be the motherfucker controlling it. So shout out to the people who do, because it's crazy, and you're not going to please a lot of people. But there are good discussions had in there and stuff. So
there are.
Cool.
It's always like if I'm not doing, like if I'm just wanting to listen to some discussions or something like that, it's always nice to go to X and see who's on Spaces and just listen in.
Man, you called it X.
I did. I'm trying to get modernized here, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to piss off Elon.
But we'll make our final picks for pick 18 tomorrow. See how we feel, right? I was gonna say let's make our pick now, man. We got a while to make those picks. We're gonna be on the air a lot. I'm gonna be on with Iceman on his channel at 5:30.
Me too.
You're coming on at 5:30?
Yep, he did what he called while we were doing our show and asked me.
Yeah, he said he hadn't asked anybody, so that's why I couldn't really. So me and Chop will be on there at 5:30.
Not you, Greg. Fuck you.
At 8, Iceman will jump on with us. Houday Joe, Chop. I think Greg has plans. Greg will be on the Saturday one. Derek might hop in. Bourbon probably hop in. Draft guy Jared's supposed to hop in. Parker probably hopping in.
Hey,
Drew
also,
Garrison might hop in. So
isn't there a chance we're going to get Corey live at the draft? Bengal Warrior?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Bengal Warriors. I sent him a link because he said he brought his headphones. He hopped in last year. He'll be in Detroit. Boots on the ground. We'll have boots on the ground.
That's what we
For
do.
night one of the draft. We'll be
We're
popping
fucking
people in
high-tech
and
here.
out, getting opinions, picks, having fun with it, watching the draft, drinking some brews, having a good time with the homies. Friday's the Midwest event. Saturday we'll be back at it at noon for rounds 4 through 7 as well, live here.
You're not wrong, Crip. When I was a kid, the kids were in Buffalo were throwing wooden dildos.
Comment of the day. Well done, sir. GB, I don't know because there's only that's one thing that is limited on here is like 10, but we might do a little rapid fire, especially after pick 18. So after pick 18 tomorrow, we might be able to do that. But yes, if you have a setup, we do try to put shit out to where we'll post the link in the chat. So if you're watching in the chat, we'll pop the link out. So if you're not watching on YouTube, it's definitely easier to do it via YouTube. Just say,
GB, if you go to YouTube and subscribe and then hit the notification, and then that way, I mean, because that's when we do throw out the link, it's going through YouTube is the best way.
Yeah. And doing the whole draft weekend, there'll probably be some times that we're like, hey, let's get everybody else's opinion. So we'll probably definitely pop that in there. You don't have to show your face. You can do this. You can go off camera.
That's right.
You can rip heaters, whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff your face full of cheese like Greg does.
And then come back on and have the mouth full of it and show everybody.
Yeah.
You could turn off your camera while you're sipping on your Campbell soup.
Man, I'm just excited, man. It's a fun time of the year for me.
It's fucking Christmas Eve.
Chop, Chop, I do this shit, man.
Yes,
this is.
That's what I'm saying. For people that don't know, man, this is Dale's fucking thing. Like, however excited you thought you were at Christmas time on Christmas Eve to wake up to those gifts, doesn't fucking compare to what Dale does.
No, same here, but
Draft.
Dale
This dude is not. You're probably not even going to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
It's been hard lately, man. I'm just so excited. Nerves are kicking in. The Patrick Paul. I'm like, man, I should not be this upset that Patrick Paul could be an option. But I'm like, you know what? I'm a little triggered. I didn't think. I was trying to keep it calm and cool and collected. And I usually do, and I will on the show. But I'm passionate about this shit, and I love it. And if I see him make a bad pick like Jackson Carmen or John Ross, then I get upset about it because I know it's a bad pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's just hope that they surprise us tomorrow by getting us something we really want. Johnny Newton. Johnny Newton.
He's a beast, man. Like, I don't think people realize 100+ pressures the last 2 years. That's insane. He is incredible. He is amazing. Like, what he could do with Sheldon Rankins and Trey Hendrickson, and let's say Miles Murphy takes a step as a pass rusher, or Joseph Osai, whoever it is.
Yeah.
That NASCAR package on them third downs. We're getting in people's asses if we get Johnny Newton, man. I'm telling you.
We get Byron Murphy. I mean,
I'll be very happy with Byron Murphy.
Yes.
Too.
Either one of those two guys, those are my two dream picks. Byron Murphy, I am not going to bitch or anything, but Newton is high. But Murphy, I'll be just as happy.
And
but
also,
if we take another tackle and we're investing in protecting Burrow, I'm also going to be happy.
No, yeah.
But I'm going to be turning my eyes to the rest of the draft and going, all right, who we getting at D tackle to help fill this out? Who we getting at wide receiver? Are we getting a tight end for the future? Are we getting a running back? Are we getting a fourth corner sometime in this draft? What are we doing? I love the draft. I love everything about it. I love going through all 7 rounds, and then I love undrafted free agency because that's fun. You get it. You can get a guy here and there. Vontez Perfect. He was all right.
Yep. He turned one of my favorite Bengal players, to be honest.
Yeah. But man, I appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Been a fun show. I wanted to test out the internet. It was shit Monday. better today, but I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood. Come on,
Knock on that little fucker.
Damn, I put it inside. But anyways,
it's in the witness protection program.
I'm excited. It should be a good time. Should be a fun time. The whole weekend should be a good time. So
if it's Johnny Newton, we're all getting our dicks
unless
out.
it's like Patrick Paul, and it's going to start off bad, but then I'll be like, all right, we're going to redeem it.
Right.
So you always gotta you gotta go to that. What are you gonna do? Bitch, complain? That ain't gonna do any good.
Yep.
Look at the positives. Best we can.
Yep.
I had a perfect jersey. Perfect's the man.
I thought about calling
guys
my
do.
jersey hookup and getting that one next.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all though, man.
Yep.
Been a fun show.
Last show.
Get a chance
Last show
tune in.
before the draft.
Last show.
Before
Last show
Christmas.
before